If anybody tunes in late, that's okay. This will be posted later on in the Facebook group so you can watch the full thing. A couple announcements before we get started. Number one is that if you come to the gym, it's first come, first serve on equipment you could loan. Just swing on by. We can give you one piece of equipment per person, just so you can do the workouts at home, with more ease, with more effectiveness, and feel like you're getting a really, really good workout in. We also, when you come to the gym, have buy one, get one half off supplements. So after this, if you really feel like you need to get your nutrition back in line and get your protein back in you, obviously there's a little bit of a chicken and beef shortage out there in the grocery stores. You can have buy one, get one half off on protein and amino acids as well. Yes, that too. And the last thing is moving forward in the next couple of days, we'll be moving all this content, the webinars, the live workouts to the GC Online Facebook group. So make sure for all of you active members, you request to go into the Game Changer Online Facebook group so that you can see all this content and continue to move forward. That's only going to be for our active members. So make sure you do that. And if at any point you have a question during this webinar, we're going to be going over some stuff, some serious stuff in this time and in this situation. Just post your question, whether you're on Zoom or whether you're on Facebook Live, just post your question. You can comment it, and we'll have time for questions where Andres, he's monitoring all the comments. He's going to ask us those questions. Or there also will be times where we're going to unmute your microphones on Zoom, and you can ask those questions yourself. So this is going to go awesome if you do have questions and you ask them. So hopefully you guys are doing that, and we'll go from there. Good, Coach Rob.
Good to me.
So just to start off, obviously I wanted this first webinar to kind of address the situation that we're in. Obviously we are not in the most, grateful of times, the most gracious of times, the best times of the world, but we have to make the most of it. And I wanted to start this off with like saying, I understand what everybody is going through at home and why these times are so much more difficult. I wrote up here, like, you literally have more time at home, which then means more responsibility. Yes, like, you have cared for your kids and raised your kids up to this point, but you've never had to homeschool them. And some of you now have to homeschool your children, and that is like a little bit of a change for you guys. And even if you don't have to homeschool them, you are now like responsible for them 24 hours of the day. And I can understand how that is a little bit more stressful. Not only that, you have to cook more meals for them. You have to make sure they're eating healthy. You have to make sure they're on top of their homework. The house is just hectic. There's a lot of things going on, and you need to also take care of yourself. And that's what I wanted to address here is like all of this stuff is going on, and I can't like take that away from you. I can't tell you that all of these things aren't going on because it is a crazy time. But some people are going to, cower from this. They're going to hide in their homes, and they're going to let their, their families run around the home and all that stuff and do whatever they want. But some of you also are going to step up and be a leader and be the great parent that you are throughout the normal times of the year. And you're going to come out stronger from this. You're going to be an even better parent, even better leader in your home. And I wanted to encourage you to be that person. And we're going to have some action steps here.
And so I'm not a parent like many of you, and not everybody's a parent. You know what I do when I'm at home more?
What?
I eat more.
This is true.
I drink more.
This is very true.
Get a little lazy.
Very true.
So if you're in that eating, binging, drinking, laziness mode, like myself, we can easily fall back into.
For sure.
I'll also talk about how to find that.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, too, is like you probably are less active now that you're at home. There's no getting around that. You're not walking around. You're not exercising like you used to. Hopefully you're jumping on our live workouts and you're getting some sort of physical activity. But if you're literally moving less and burning less calories, you then have to eat less calories so you don't gain any weight. And it's really tough time. So we want to help you guys get through this.
Yeah, and a lot of the exercise that you get so much like steps in and movement without even realizing it in your everyday lives, that's going to be taken away. So now you have to be even more purposeful with everything that you do.
For sure. Awesome. That's a great point too. So at the end of the day, here's what we're going to do for you. Just to recap of all the things that we're providing for you, our active members that are, supporting us and sticking with us. We want to support you guys as well in these times at home to continue to lead this healthy lifestyle. Of course, we're going to give you the live workouts. Just jump in the live workouts or, watch them afterwards. If you can do it earlier in the morning, watch the one from the night before. Or if you can do it later in the day, watch one from before. They'll be in the Facebook group. You'll have links to them on different sites. They'll be readily available for you guys to do these workouts. And trust me, we have been filming these workouts. I don't think I've ever been this sore in my life. So they are effective. You can get a great workout in no matter where you are, no matter what your equipment is.
JT is at home more, so he's also never been this heavy in his life.
This is true.
So that also goes into that.
This is true. We'll be hosting these webinars, and I want these to be as interactive as possible. I've laid out, some content that I want to go over, but at the end of the day, I can lay out things that I want to go over and talk to you guys about. Good topics. It's only gonna, address your needs if you then ask questions and then say, hey, JT, I need help with this. I have a question about X, Y, and Z, and Coach Rob can help as well. That's how we're going to make the most out of these webinars.
Don't be that student who's hiding in the back of the class.
Yes.
Sit in the front, raise your hand, we'll answer your question.
For sure. And from there, we're going to send out challenges weekly. And these are just fun interactive things where if you complete the challenge and then you send it to us on social media or email, we're going to give you Perkville points. We're going to continue to grow our Perkville and our member rewards program and get you guys to the next levels by doing things at home and things that you can do with your family and fun that you can have. And then the last two things is we want to be able to provide a community, the community that we have grown. And at the end of the day, like some communities and some things are going to crumble during these situations, but some will come out stronger. And that's what Game Changer is going to do. Like our community and the relationships that we all have, like we will come out stronger from this. And that's going to continue to grow through our live workouts, through these webinars, through the community that will grow and the distractions that we'll be able to provide for you guys, whether it's these webinars or whether it's a workout. We're going to be stronger because of this, and we can't wait to prove that to you guys.
And agree with JT on the community point. So any of my members from Madison, like the Facebook group and the workout and all these calls, is going to be joined with members from Springfield. And that's going to give us a lot more resources to help each other out, to help us be more interactive. And we really are all in this together. Sure. Everybody across New Jersey, the country, and even the world. And to your point, to the workouts, like we talked about getting the family involved. I want to know, because I'm seeing Christine Hunsinger, I'm seeing Laura Santagata. Yeah. I want to know if we can get the dog involved, yes. The cat involved.
Absolutely.
In the workout. Is that a thing we can do?
You can literally replace a dumbbell as long as you're not throwing it. Well, you wouldn't throw a dumbbell anyway. You can replace that with your dog. You can squat your dog. If you have a really big dog, then you have to be strong.
What if the dog goes to the bathroom all over you?
Well, you'll just have to do more laundry. You have plenty of time at home.
Wear a poncho.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right. So, and here's where I want this to go. And actually, to the point that Rob made is like, so Rob just opened the beautiful facility in Madison. He has a growing member count and a growing community there too. It's a really unique opportunity to like combine those communities and have one large Game Changer community. So I'm excited about that too. Again, we're gonna come out stronger on the other end of this. So I can't wait for that. So the point of this talk is to help provide you with an action step on what you and your family can do right now, like today, to make tomorrow and the next upcoming days a little bit better. But you can't do that without shifting your mentality. So there's,
no, I want to say, no, Kirsten, you can't squat Jim, unless, I don't know what his body weight is these days.
He's light.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
You know what? Go for it.
Yeah.
We won't be able there to pick up the pieces if he crumbles on you, but I'm sure Holly now.
And there's this thing called accommodating resistance, Kirsten. If he continues to drink Mountain Dew and every day he gets just a little bit heavier, then you can get stronger as he gets stronger.
We're fine, but
everybody wins there, right? All right, so in all seriousness, at the end of the day, we have to shift our mentality. There's really two ways to think about this situation. You're either a victim of this circumstance, of the situation, or you're going to take advantage of, having more time with your kids, having more control over what they're doing, spending more quality time with them, and making the most out of this time. And you can also either let life happen to you, so everything is just happening to you. The circumstances are unfortunate. Poor you, poor family, or you can step up and say, you know what, I'm going to take
so we're going to do Tyler, we're going to do a
take this time
public
to help your kids develop their nutrition habits,
I guess.
Work out with your kids, talk to your family more, have more family time, and just grow the relationship that you guys have and be a better community inside your home as well. So we're going to talk about some things that you can do there.
Yeah, you might like your family a little more. You probably have something interesting to say.
I do hope so. That would be awesome. So we're going to flip the page on this. And here's the action step. Step number 1 is going to be, I want you to, you can comment on here, or if you're on Zoom, we're going to take you off mute in just a second. You can chime in, but I want to know like what's in disorder in your household. So the first thing you have to do in order to create a plan to dominate and have success is figure out what's wrong, like what's in disorder, what is stressing you out, what's causing you some anxiety. I have some things written down, and if you guys want to comment, Andres will throw them our way. If you want to speak up in Zoom, we're going to unmute you right now. But the first couple things I've written down is obviously like your kids being home and you maybe having even to teach them, homeschool them, that's in disorder. To be honest with you, if I had to teach a 4th grade kid math right now, I wouldn't be able to figure it out. I have 10 fingers and I can barely do addition, let alone multiplication and fractions and all that stuff. So that is stressful. I understand.
You trust this man with your health.
Fitness is not math. Fitness is not math. Your meals, like you have to literally cook more. You have to cook 3 meals a day for your family, and then try to have them somewhat, like healthy. You have to worry about your nutrition too, because that's more difficult now that you're stuck at home. You have to worry about working out. Like when things are normal, you just drive to the gym. You know exactly what time your workout is. You come in here, have a good time. You do your workout, and then you leave. But now it's like crap, when do I work out? Because I have so many other things to do. But it is very, very important that you get these workouts in and maintain your level of fitness. You have to work. You have to make a living, right? You have to do something to provide value for your job so you can get paid and then continue, to have your job. It's a very trying time, but you have to work as well. So all these things going on at the same time, there's really probably, hopefully, some structure, but maybe no structure of like when you're doing all of these things. So it's important that you create that structure, and that's what we're going to go into next. So Andres, if you can unmute everybody on Zoom, you guys can chime in if you want. Andres, also, if people commented about things that, and you can do that now if you haven't, what is in disorder? Give us an idea so we can work through this together. What is stressing you out? What's different at home? Like what's going on? It's going to be as interactive as you guys make it. So let me know. Throw some stuff our way.
Andres has a question. If somebody types in the question, let us know.
Yeah.
And if anybody is on Zoom, type in your question in Zoom. Andres will let us know that you typed it in, and then we'll ask you to speak first. So type it in. Andres will relay it to us. He's the man behind the scenes. JT says he has a face for radio. I've never thought that was kind, but that's why he's not on the TV. So any questions, type it in, and then we'll get back to that. And a lot of it is going to be because things are like you're anxious and things are tough. Like we've talked about this a lot in different platforms, but you have to put your willpower into literally just dealing with the stress, and then you're putting your willpower into dealing with kids and all this sort of stuff. So you're going to revert back to making things easier, right? You're going to heat up the meals that are easier to make, even when they're not the healthiest for you. It'd be easier to not work out than to work out because you used up your energy and your willpower towards that. So it's not just, it's these outside factors that in turn create a lot of inside problems. So all this is making things harder, and that's why it's important to have like a support group.
Yeah, for sure. And as we keep going through these things, right, and then maybe like Rob can chime in on different, easy meals to make at home for breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever that might be. That could help you guys out a ton. So moving forward from that, and again, comment things, throw these things in here. This webinar is only going to be better if you guys chime in. But you have to create then a priority list, right? So you hopefully, and this could be a to-do after we get done here. If you want to get a little bit more structure, first things first, write everything that's in disorder in your life right now. And then the second thing you're going to do is then prioritize that list. Like what exactly is going on that you need to prioritize? And I wrote some ideas down here. Number one is your kids in schooling, like they have to go to school. You have to teach them things. That's probably your first priority. And then number two, you and your own. And then going forward from there, cooking meals, eating meals with your family, spending time with your family. And then 4 and 5, unfortunately, become exercise and then nutrition. And that's why these times are so tough, is because you place all these things in front of your nutrition and your exercise, that it's tough to get those things done, at the end of the day, if you don't make a plan and prioritize these things. So that's the second thing you can do is on a list, you'll write down, hey, what is actually most important? What do I have to do? And what order am I going to get those done in? And again, I told Andres he's going to shout us out some stuff that you guys are commenting if you're commenting. And like what else on those, on this priority list should be there? Is there things that we're missing? These are things that are stressing you out that we can put on there. If we have a visual representation of that's going to make this a little bit easier for you. Kelly, I see you say snacks. Yes, that is another distraction. There's probably a ton of snacks in your house, but you have to have the willpower to not step in that territory. But again, you have a list of everything that's in disorder. Then you take that list of disorder, you prioritize everything that you need to get done, and then we move forward from there.
And then to talk to your point about snacks, as you said, so if the more readily available that snacks are, the easier they are to get, the better chance that you're going to have them. So I would place the majority of them, the unhealthy snacks, in an area like whether it's in the basement or like even the attic, or if you don't have any of that, in a shelf that's very high up. It makes it tougher to, what was that?
Twizzlers.
You could put the snacks that are tough, that are not going to be so great for you, put them away. You keep out just a few of them.
Abby, put them in the attic.
Or what you could also do.
Put them in the attic.
So we have on Zoom, one of our members, Kirsten, she's showing us a box of Oreos. So this is what I would recommend with the Oreos. I believe it says on the serving size on the back that 3 Oreos is a serving. And a lot of these packaged snacks, like 1 ounce, 2 pieces, whatever it is, the serving size is on there for a reason. I would tell you to take some Ziploc bags, You fill them up per serving size. You have those in more easily accessible places. You put the rest in a hard to locate area, and you're only allowed to replenish once you've eaten all those. The second thing, as a parent, what you can do, because you all love your kids, and I know you'd feel guilty taking anything away from them, is you can name the Ziploc bags. You could put your kid's name. His name was Abby. You could put Abby on there. Your child's name was Holly. You could put Holly on there. If your child's name was JT, put JT on there. And you know you're not, whatever. You know you're not going to eat your kid's food because you're a great parent and you're not going to allow that to happen. Yeah. So that's another strategy. And then obviously,
Jim,
it's tough to get to the store right now, but you do want to stock up on things that are healthier to eat. So if there's fruit and vegetables around, then get some fruit and vegetables. I'm fine with also anything that is a lower calorie snack, like the reduced fat stuff. As long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. And make sure you have the serving size. So make them hard to find in your house and portion them out and eat them slowly. If you gobble it up real fast, you're still going to be hungry and you're going to want another one. So eat it slowly, take a bite, put it down, and so forth. So, Andrew, do you have any more comments or questions that we can go for?
Yeah, we have Will. Will, that's a great idea. Will said, or if you have kids, they just eat the snacks before you get to them. Yes. Will, Nick could probably use a couple more Oreos. That's okay. Let him have the Oreos. Less distraction for you. All right, so let's move on. So let's just recap what we went over. We had a list of things that are in disorder. Then we took that list of things that are in disorder and we made a priority list. Okay, what has to get done every single day? And then the next step is, how long will these things take, or how long should these things take? How long should I allot to get these things done? So when I put my head in the pillow at night, I know that I did everything I could to be productive that day.
It should be on the pillow.
In the pillow is okay too. It feels great. So just a couple examples. Number one is, if you have to homeschool your kids, blocking out time for that and not for like electronics or TV or video games or something like that, especially cell phones, put them to the side. So what I have as an idea is just like 2 to 3, like 1 hour to 90-minute blocks where they're just focused, on schoolwork, especially kids. They're gonna have a really short attention span. But if they can just sit down and really like crush homework and get a lot of things done at once, then they have a little bit of time to break. Then they can do it again. Actually, science shows that's better off working in short distances and then having a time for a break afterwards. And that in between, they can, watch TV, take a nap, use their electronics. So you're keeping them sane by providing hours where they can do that, but you're also having to be very productive in the schoolwork.
And, as you know, nothing can be more distractive than distracting like social media, electronics. So similar to the, we don't want to eat the food, we have to put it away. Same thing with like the phone.
Another room.
When your kid is being schooled, the phone should not only not be on their person, and when the adult is trying to get work done at home, that phone should only not be on your person. It should be away, and you should probably turn it off. And still people worry about emergencies. Most of you, I'm assuming, still have a landline. So if an emergency were to happen, it would come that way. And like George said in an episode of Seinfeld once, how many emergencies are there going on in the world right now? 3, 4? So that's not a huge deal. So definitely put the electronics away, shut them off. And another way to think about it for yourself and your kids, because we all act like kids sometimes, is not to think, okay, I'm going to allot times when I'm not allowed to be on my phone or social media. It should really be the inverse. I'm going to allow times when I can have my phone. So you planned out when you're going to be doing your homeschooling for the kids. Maybe you're planning out when you have to do your telecommuting learning, whatever the phrase that we're using is. And I'm allowing these times when I can be on social media and be on my phone. And really, like I said, social media and your phones can be so distracting. Now that's where we're trying to keep up with the news and all the updates and everything that's going on. So it is as immersive as possible. And you thought like it was addictive before. Now we're not only be addicted from the scrolling and all the other cool features that social media puts in place to watch things, but our anxiety has made us really read things. And if we put things into perspective, although things are changing very quickly, if you were to check the news every few hours, I promise you'll get all the updates you need. If you have a landline, anything crazy would happen, you'll be alerted. And chances are you're going to be just fine. So definitely put the phone to the side for yourselves and your kids. And if you're doing it, then your kids are obviously going to take that example. And it's going to be weird at first. It's going to be tough to be away from our devices, which you'll get used to it. And our brain will operate a little better when we have those distractions put to the side. Your brains are operating awesome right now. They're doing great. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some great brain operating power close to you, you can take that to the next level.
And last point on this, and I'm just going to comment on the people that I see. I see Kirsten, I see Sue Smith on here. So if, Abby and Holly are listening, or, Jordan and Tyler are listening, two things. Number one is I'm a little bit closer to your kid's age than Rob would be, so he couldn't comment on this. But when you go on social media, nothing good happens. Most of the time, you look at social media, you'll see the highlight reel of somebody else's life or some crazy information that is probably not true, and then you'll feel anxious and unsettled about that. So it took me a little while to realize that, but social media has like no benefits whatsoever, except keeping in contact with maybe some friends, which we probably don't keep in contact with anyway. And the second point,
picture your dog.
Or your dog, yes. The second point is, and this is proven through studies, if you are doing homework or like productive work, if you then distract yourself with your phone or social media, it takes like 20 to 30 minutes to then get back focused on that work that you were doing. So it takes a really long time. Like you might feel like you're focused on it, but you're not as productive and moving as fast as you were before being distracted. So don't waste your time when you're doing the schoolwork or your work if you're a grown-up or a parent. Make sure that you are focused and then you're not being distracted by the phone. But those are two other points too. The next thing is, so outside of designating time for work or schoolwork and electronics, designate time to cook. It's probably going to take 30 minutes to cook breakfast and lunch, 30 minutes to eat breakfast and lunch, and then in total for dinner, like an hour and a half between cooking, eating, sitting down, sitting at the table, spending time with your family. That's important time. So a lot of time for those things. So about an hour between cooking and eating breakfast and lunch, and then an hour and a half for dinner, so you can sit down, relax, and have some good time with the family. Always, and I mean always, because exercise is important. A lot of time at either 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. for a 30-minute workout with your lovely coaches here at Game Changer. Even if you can't jump in on those calls or on those live workouts, we do post them, through your email. You can get a link for it, or on the Facebook group. They'll be right there. You can click them and do them whenever you want. Work out along with the coaches.
And to JT's point about like the time that it could take you to cook, this is a golden opportunity to learn how to cook a little more and to cook more of your meals. Because first of all, if you're cooking something rather than just heating it up, the better chance that it's going to be healthier, have a greater nutrient profile. So first, that's gonna take us some time, right? You got time to kill, so that's gonna take us some time. You'll learn a new skill, and then this is a little subtle, but JT, when you cook, which I know is quite often,
yes.
Do you cook lying down on the floor? Do you cook sitting in a chair, or do you cook standing up?
Standing up, of course.
All I hear, I'm at a desk all day. I wish I could be standing more. Bada bing, bada boom. Now's a perfect opportunity to be standing more, cooking more. Cooking will lead to standing more, and we don't realize that, but that does add to your total calorie burn and your total movement throughout the day.
Yes, I agree. And Dave is commenting, guarantee it takes JT 4 minutes to rip through his dinner. Dave, I like to sit down at the dinner table, converse with family, share stories about the day, and enjoy my meal. So you are wrong there, my friend. I might eat a solid amount, but it doesn't take me 4 minutes. And the last point I made on this sheet before we go like an actual sample schedule is this is a time to flourish. It's a time to get a hold of your nutrition if you haven't already, or solidify the habits that you have around your nutrition. It's a trying time. It's a challenging time for you to work out. So if you can develop workout habits right now, I promise you the workout habits will follow you after this is over. We're back to normal life. So it's a time to flourish for yourself and prove to you and your family how awesome you're going to be, not only now, but after all this is done.
You know how many of my members on a daily basis come up to me and say, Coach Rob, I feel like I'm doing well at work. I'm doing good with my exercise, but I have no time to flourish. Now is the time to flourish,
wow.
Okay? Take the bull by the horns and flourish away.
Don't you guys miss all that. All right, so, and the last thing that we have is a little bit of a sample schedule up here on the board. Maybe I'm going to walk this closer so you guys can see it. And if you want, a really good opportunity could be for you guys to take a screenshot of this.
Can you help there?
Probably not the best idea to move it forward. So I'm going to leave it right there before I break it. So here's what I have as a sample schedule. I'll run through it really, really quick. So for example, especially if you have younger kids, you should probably wake them up. Actually, if you have older kids, it'll probably be tougher to wake up. So maybe also wake them up at a reasonable hour. Wake them up at 8 a.m. And then from 8 to 8:30, prepare breakfast so they can get out of bed. And by the time 8:30 rolls around, you guys could be sitting down and eating something healthy, of course.
I'm a big fan, as you know, of television. I love the good, wholesome classic shows. Maybe we want to really go back, we can go to say a little Leave It to Beaver action. If we want to go into the 90s, then we have we got your Full House, we have your Family Matters, And for majority of those step by step, if anybody watched that show, Boy Meets World, great programming. And I know that when they would get up in the morning, they'd be eating together as
That's
a
right.
family. Father might have his coffee, mother as well. Maybe they have their tea. Kids have a little bit of OJ, and they have a nice breakfast. And this is an opportunity to really, if you have a family at home, to get back to doing that with your family and sitting down and not just eating better and spending time cooking, but spending time with them. So
Sure.
that's all goes with the flourishing aspect that we
Flourishing is amazing. So you're waking your kids up, giving them time to get out of bed and get to the kitchen. And in that time, you're going to cook breakfast, you're going to prepare it, and then you can have a nice family breakfast for 30 minutes. After that, the next thing would be like, let's get right to work on schoolwork, whatever the kids have to do. And what I have written down is 9:30 to 11 a.m. So at the end of the day, you're spending an hour and a half. The kids are just on schoolwork. And maybe they have different subjects they have to handle. Maybe that's a math block. Maybe that's an English block, whatever it might be. So we're trying to replicate what school would be. So they're working on the schoolwork they have to get done during that time. And then once that's over, they can go to a break, TV, nap, whatever that might be. So they're really, working really hard for an hour and a half. But then they, from 11 to 12, that's another hour, have time to kind of relax, take a step back, have their phone, watch whatever TV show they want to, or take a nap. I know I would choose the nap option, of course. But what I have on the side here too is like, you then have to decide, can I also work as a parent? Can I also work while my child is doing their schoolwork? Because that's pretty important to know. If you have to homeschool your kid, obviously you have to be there to teach them things. So that's not possible. So what you would then do, an idea, is while they're doing the break TV nap, then you would get your first work block in, get as much work as you possibly can, whether that's phone calls, answering emails, hopping on, a meeting or whatnot. That would be the time for you to do it. If not, you should have the same exact work block schedule as your kids, because that would keep you guys kind of on the same schedule and be a really cool opportunity. What I have next would be then lunch. So from 12 to 12:30, you'd be cooking lunch, and then 12:30 to 1 o'clock, everyone would be eating together. So at the end of the day, if you really look at it, what your kids would be having to do is they would have 90 minutes of doing schoolwork, and then it would have from like 11 until like 1 before they have to do schoolwork again. So you're keeping them sane and giving them the things that they need, but during that, 90 minutes, it's a good opportunity to really expect, they're focused on their schoolwork and whatnot. So after lunch would be then that next schoolwork block. And that's 1 to 3. That's another 2 hours of them doing work. And especially if you can also do some work on your end while they're doing their schoolwork, it's a good opportunity for you to be productive as well. And then, of course, afterwards at 3 o'clock, from 3 to 3:30, the Game Changer Live workout with Coach JT. I know that's the one you all want to jump on because it's really fun. It's high energy. You have a great time. So at 3 o'clock, you'll be jumping on that live workout, of course.
I want to go back to this. I want to go back to this. I'll get to your workout in a second. Well, this like break TV nap time. What I do think would be really cool, and you could do this obviously if it's just yourself, if you just have a spouse, or if you have kids, you can organize it however you want. I think it would be a great idea to select a TV show. Yeah. Maybe it's like, it's a shorter one, a 20 or 30-minute show. And we're also into binging. Oh, I have to binge watch this. I have to binge watch that. And I know that with food, binging isn't the best. So maybe it's not even the best for your TV show. So I think it'd be pretty cool. You select a show, and we're going to get into that more in depth at a different time. And you watch one episode of it a day.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Seinfeld or an Everybody Loves Raymond.
Or if you're a sane person, something more entertaining like The Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise.
You can't do that's stupid.
Floribama Shore,
you
Jersey
can't
Shore.
Watch
The
Bachelor because
Challenge,
it's too long for this example. Anyway, you're going to pick an episodic show because we do like a thread, right? We don't want these non-serialized things like CIS and all that nonsense. We're not going to be interested in that because we have a higher level of intellect. And now we have the time. We can pay attention. Whatever. You pick that show, and it's scheduled. It's appointment viewing. And so that way, if you do have a spouse or a family that you can watch with, it's a great way to gather around with them. And also, it's something to look forward to. So okay, I can only watch this if I do put the focus into cooking my food, into getting my work done, into making sure my kids get their schoolwork done. And maybe, hey kids, we have the show at 11:30 that we're going to watch together. We can't do it though unless you do your work. So you can plan that out. It could be a daily thing. So that could be a fun way for yourself or your family, who's ever
So Robin and Nancy asked a very similar question. Number one, when is there time for kids to fight with each other? And then how do we stay away from our kids as much as humanly possible? Guess what? Make these schoolwork blocks as long as you want them. 6 hours at a time and in separate rooms. They won't fight. They won't bother you. This is great. This is awesome. So that's what you can do.
Kids
That's
are
your
fighting,
answer.
get out of here.
Yeah, come on. Siblings don't fight. That never happens. But to move on after the live workout, they have another like rest TV nap segment to where, again, we're keeping your kids sane, keeping you sane. Maybe they're distracted on their phone. Maybe they're distracted with a TV or napping. You can then get work done. You can do the things that you have to do in order to make a living. And then moving on from there, I have from 4:30 to 6. That's a dinner time. So that's cooking, eating, cleaning up. That's just an elongated period for you to be able to cook, eat, and enjoy dinner with your family. Is that what you're doing, Adam and Liz? Yes, they're actually right now in their first schoolwork block, so we can't be too loud. They have to get that done. And then lastly, at the end of the day, from 6 to 7, we have another opportunity in case you couldn't get your work done while your kids were doing schoolwork. Another opportunity for you to get work done at the bottom. So that's like 7 o'clock, 6 to 7 to get some work done. And then some important stuff at the bottom. Lastly, like 7 o'clock, we had. From 7 to 9, we have family time. So that could be another time for you to guys watch a show together, play some games, have conversations, whatever you want to do as a family. That's just family time. And then lastly, 9 o'clock, especially the older kids that I know are probably watching, Holly and Abby and Jordan and Tyler. Bedtime at 9 o'clock. That would be pretty responsible of you guys. Get to sleep. Make sure that you're ready to wake up again at 8 o'clock in the morning when your parents call you. But that's just a sample schedule that I had put together for you guys. Just an idea. And that's what I wanted to do with this is give you, honestly, like an idea of what you can do. So remember, step 1 was writing everything that's in disorder. Step number 2 was taking those things into disorder and prioritizing what you need to do in a day. Step number 3, how long about will that take? And step number 4, putting it into a schedule and having your family follow that. So we do have a couple minutes left. Here's what I want to do is I want to open the floor for some questions, whether they're going to be commented questions, which Andres will then relate to us, or if you're on Zoom, Andres is going to unmute you right now. You can then speak those questions to us and we'll answer. But I'll give you guys some time and an open floor if you have any questions.
And to go, surrounding all of this, what ties it all together and which future webinars we will get more in depth on is what is one supposed to do from the 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. period or whatever? And that we're supposed to sleep, right?
Right.
And we talk about exercise a lot and we talk about nutrition a lot. And those are important aspects of being healthy. And getting adequate sleep is going to be just as important. And this might provide us a better opportunity to do that, to get more sleep. And when it comes to, obviously, the whole reason why we're been forced to do a lot of this stuff is because there's a virus out there. And we need to be strong for it. We need to be healthy for it. We need a strong and healthy immune system for it. And sleep is going to be a major part of that. And we don't think about that a lot, but it really will. And it's going to affect everything else that you do. If you don't get enough sleep, then you're going to be less inclined to work out. If you don't get enough sleep, you're not going to put as much energy into the workout. If you don't get enough sleep, you're going to be more fatigued and you're going to put in a sloppier workout. And this will go also back to the willpower. If you don't get enough sleep, you're going to have less willpower. You're going to be less willing to cook a meal. You're going to be less willing to create a healthy meal. I know when a lot of this information first started coming up and people saying, just in case you want to get 2 weeks worth of food. First thing I did was I got a bunch of frozen pizzas and I saw people posting pictures online that all the frozen pizzas were gone. My bad, okay? And if I don't get enough sleep and if I don't have everything's in order, I'm like, Sarah, let's just heat up the pizza tonight, right? So we need to get enough sleep and we need to have enough energy so that we're making the right decision. So, and that'll be something we talk about. How do we get more sleep? How do we increase our quality of sleep and all that sort of stuff? But surrounding all of that, that is part of the schedule that should be baked in. And now's an opportunity to hone in on that and to focus on that and to make it more of a part of your daily life, even beyond when we get through this craziness.
I don't see any questions on the comments. Andres, we don't have any. If you have any on Zoom, speak up. That's cool too. But just to wrap up, some topics that we're going to cover, on these webinars is going to be, nutrition. How are you going to eat and cook during these times? Simple meals that you can make. Another thing is going to be stress management. Like, what can you do to manage your stress? Another one, how can you make workouts for yourself at home what's some structures you can use with limited to no equipment. And then another one being, how do I track calories? Like, how can I get even more focused on my nutrition in this time? We'll have a lesson on how to use apps to track calories and, how to know how many calories you should be eating in a day, how many grams of protein. We're going to try to provide as much clarity for you as possible. So this time could be time where you can work on yourself, make yourself better and come out stronger on the other end of this. Just some quick things to wrap up. Reminders are going to be, hey, come on, swing by. Curbside pickup for both equipment. You can have a piece of equipment per member. And BOGO protein, amino acids, buy one, get one half off sale off that as well. And we hope to see you guys. We really miss you guys. We miss having you guys in the building. And it's a time where we have to band together. We have to develop a better community and really strengthen what we already have. So I hope to see you guys in the gym soon, in the next couple weeks. But for now, stay with us online. Keep doing the workouts. Let us know if you have any questions.
We miss you too.
And again, take care of yourselves. Not just taking care of the rest of your family. Don't lose sight of that. Still have to take care of yourselves.
All righty, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Adios.